All right. So we've been doing something for a very long time. Worked with a lot of brand new MCs over the years. And one thing I always notice when dealing with somebody brand new is finding brokerages that will work with brand new authorities. You've heard it a million times. You got to age MC. No, you don't. No, you don't. Enough people haven't asked the right questions. We've always asked the right question. How old does my authority need to be to work with your brokerage? Over time, we developed this really long list, and I'll show you that next. Of like, I think today April 27th, it's up to 1,260 or 1,270 different brokerages where we have that answer, right? So we learned over that 5 years that we've booked thousands of loads for guys under 3 months, 6 months, 90 days, no days. If you got an MC on Friday, I can get you loaded Monday morning. You got it on Monday, I can load you on Monday, Tuesday. It's not a problem with us, right? It's not a problem at all. Don't worry about it. So this is that list, right? Build this system ourselves, and so we have 1,271 brokers in here. Now let me show you how many we have for our brand new MC. So before you get to your first 90 days, we have 96 different brokerages for you to work with. There aren't 90 days in 3 months. We already got you beat for the first 90 days. So let's say we get to the 3 month mark. How many people can we run with then, Joe? That becomes 222 days. So let me do the math real quick. I've always wondered this. I'm not too sure. Half a year, man, is 365 divided by 2. That's 182. If it flips, it flips. That's 182 brokers. So if everybody got one load a day, you got one. Because we know who to call, right? So now let's get to the 6 month mark and see what that looks like. 425. There are 365 days in a year. So by the time we get to the halfway mark of the first year, you are already loaded for the rest of the year. If that's not an advantage, I don't really know what it is. But that's just step one, part one of the advantage, right? Let's keep going. One part that I kind of skip over a lot, but you'll get to see it in a second, is the fact that that list, right? We know how to lay that on top of the load boards. So say you want to go from Atlanta to Houston, right? Atlanta to Houston, I can know instantly the moment I open the load board which broker you can run with in that lane. There's no guessing, right? But here's the second part to knowing which brokers we can run with. You got your gold, you got your green, you got your clear, you got your red for the rates. But when it comes to how we handle the different parts of the load board, I can see in green which brokers you'll run with. I can see with the rates, right, how anything above whatever threshold. If I say, so let's say you as a driver, I'll take anything on over $4 or $5 a month. I can see it. I don't have to look for it. I don't have to do the math. I'll show you how naked a regular dispatcher's load board is versus how coded and advanced ours is, right? Good loads are in green, neutral loads are clear, and the bad ones are red. The ones that are, so far above a threshold are the ones that I can see for a good rate. Above a certain rate per mile, gold. Above a certain rate per mile, green. Average rates, neutral. Bad rates, red, right? So out of everything that's on this list, it's going to take all the information to tell me everything I see for the 400 entries, what we got. And what's the best one? We can talk about it quickly. And instead of spending so much time being frustrated trying to figure all that out on your own, not knowing who to call, not knowing which load is the best, not knowing all the details, we'll be able to see. Now, on this next part of the video, I'm going to show you how it actually looks. And it's pretty damn impressive. So let's go. So here's our part I was talking about, where we get to find a lot of the nooks and crannies. So let's say you become a client, right? And you don't like targeting. We already have those guys who don't like targeting loads. So I can literally click a button, and you'll see it here in a moment, this little button down here. I can click it, and I can, look at flatbed options. I can find a load that is a late loader, or let's say we're pressed for time at the end of the day around 3 o'clock, and you're getting unloaded somewhere. I can find the perfect load that makes sense for exactly what we got going on every single day. Then on top of that, I have the lowest deadhead features where I can find the lowest deadhead on both sides of the load. Say you want to get somewhere and you're coming from somewhere trying to get there. I can figure all that stuff out in a second, right? But let me show you. This is the naked load board with no advantages, all right? So I'll scroll up and down and show you a little bit of everything. And actually, let me go from the best rate. And so what I'm going to do when I flip back over and turn all of our stuff on, what I'm going to do is show you an older authority and what everything looks like so you can really see everything. Then I'll show you a brand new authority, one of my newer guys. His MC is like 30 something days old. So you can really see the difference. Remember, you don't know who will work with you. You don't know what the rate per mile is, with the deadhead included. You can't check the actual route unless you click on this here. No, actually, I think there you go. View route. That gives you no real context about what's really going on when it comes to terrain, right? So let me refresh. I want you to watch me refresh as well. Click here, refresh. All of our stuff is on now. And this, let me show you. I want the proof here. New MC, 41 days. 1,271 brokers. And let's set the threshold. Let's set it at 350 amount, right? We're going to sync that up and apply to the board. So now we can already see we have great rates because that's set on the rate, right? Now, you're not seeing all of these light up because it only does the math for those loads you can actually run with. Like those brokers you can actually haul freight with, it only does the math on those. But keep in mind, this guy is at 41 days of age. It's currently 6:31 p.m. when I'm doing this video. So obviously there's way more freight throughout the day than just this, right? You can't make this stuff up. We've asked that question for 5 years, right? Now let me show you a guy who has an older authority. Let's go Urban Hope. All right. Lightning bolts. We can see who can quick pay. I can open up the load. I actually see the terrain. I can know that I'm not sending you into the mountains. I can know that I'm not sending you to the mountains fast. No questions asked. I can also know when I come back over here that the true rate per mile is 319 a mile with 82 miles of deadhead included. Or I know the load itself comes out to 382 a mile when you take the deadhead off, right? Or if I need to, I can send the email to this broker for that load in a split second. Email sent. So while you're still trying to scroll past your 3 options on your cell phone, and let me show you because 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 1, 2, 3. You can see 5 loads at a time. 5. If I wanted to get snazzy about it, I'm not going to count that. I'm not going to count that. But this is the difference of what it looks like to really do business with us versus somebody else. Versus knowing, hey, this guy can really see how he can get me loaded. He can do it fast, and there's no thought process that he has to go through. It's not going to be long and strenuous. I worked through those days of having to find guys' loads and scratch and claw through stuff, and it's not fun. And I'd rather move anybody with these tools now that I have than any other way I used to do it. I would never go back. We're going to wrap this thing up, man. Long story short, if you try to do dispatching by yourself, you try to dispatch yourself, sometimes you'll see yourself in spots where you're being forced to lease on, working up under somebody's authority anyway. You'll be double paying on insurance, giving money away, possibly spending a lot of time trying to take a lot of risky shortcuts just to get loaded if you don't lease on the right way. And if you get in an accident while that stuff's happening, or let's say you have a breakdown in that space, the money you could have been taking to use on your own MC, bro, you might end up in a different spot, and it's not worth it. If you try to go to a different dispatcher, they're not going to have this advantage, and neither will you. They don't know how to guarantee your payments like I do, and you'll have that delayed independence of where you're trying to hold out for long enough or find the perfect solution when you could just make it right now. So end of it all, I think it makes the most sense to give us a call and see how we can help each other out and move forward in the next step of business. Thank you.